Morning, Sherry Bars with Wheatland County. I'm here to open this meeting for the Municipal Planning Commission at 9:02. The Municipal Planning Commission is conducting this meeting in person and via conference call in accordance with the Municipal Government Act, Section 199. Council chambers is open for public attendance in person. However, members may still join meetings remotely using our current teleconference process. As per Wheatland County Policy 7.13, members of the public are not permitted to speak unless the Commission agrees to hear from them. The Commission agrees to allow the public to speak. The Chair will call upon specific individuals at that time. Please note, this call is being recorded and will be uploaded to our website and/or social media. For any individuals using the conference call line, we ask that you mute your phone to eliminate background noise. Everyone has a right to be present at Municipal Planning Commission meetings. Any members or attendees that are considered disruptive to the progression of this meeting may be removed at the discretion of the chair as per the Municipal Government Act, Section 198. We thank you for your cooperation and understanding. Prior to commencing with the agenda, the Municipal Planning Commission will need to appoint a chair for this meeting. The Commission will now call for nominations to appoint a chair for this meeting.
I'll nominate Scott to chair the meeting.
Do you accept the nomination?
Sure, as long as my voice lasts.
Any other nominations for chair? Any others? And one last time, then we'll proceed with Reeve Klassen as our chair for the Municipal Planning Commission today.
Thank you. And just to explain a little further for people that may not understand, our chair is out of participating remotely, and our policy states that a person has to be present to chair the meeting, and our vice chair is at home second, I believe, is participating remotely as well. So that's why this is just a one-time chair appointment for this meeting. So with that, we have an agenda before us, and is there any additions or deletions?
I'll move the agenda as presented.
Thank you. And with MPC, we do raise our hand, and we have people remote. How will they vote? Just asking administration. Just by voice? Roll call. Oh, great. Makes it even more fun.
Can you see me waving?
No, I cannot see you, Glenn. And Commissioner Bigger, are you on the line as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor. I will call the question. Can we just go by where we sit in council by division, basically, so I don't have to call everybody? So
I'm in favor.
In favor.
In favor.
I'm in favor.
In favor.
In favor.
In favor.
Thanks, and that's carried. We have unapproved minutes from December 9th, 2025. Any errors, omissions, deletions, or is it good?
I move we adopt the Municipal Planning Commission from December 9th, 2025 as presented.
Thank you. The minutes, yes. Any discussion? I'll call the question.
In favor.
In favor.
In favor.
I'm in favor.
In favor.
In favor.
In favor.
And that's carried. We'll move on to development permits applications, DP 2025-183.
Good morning, everyone. I am Suzanne Hayes, Development Officer with the county. I will be presenting 5 applications this morning. Beginning on page 9 of the agenda package, we have DP 2025-183. It is for natural resource extraction, which I will refer to as NRE during this presentation, with 2 variance requests. The location plan is on page 30. It is located approximately 3.5 miles southeast of the hamlet of Carsland, or 1.5 miles east of Speargrass, approximately 2.4 kilometers east of Highway 24 on the south side of Township Road 220. It's a 143.32 acre parcel. Pages 31 through 36, we have a site plan and some aerial photos that I will refer to. The application is for NRE, which includes excavation, crushing, screening, washing, and hauling of aggregate on the lands. A brief history. Following a redesignation of this parcel in 2022 to the NRE district, a DP application was submitted in 2023, which included 2 variance requests. One was to allow mining within the 10.05 meter side yard setback along the east side, and one was to excavate within the 30.48 meter setback to the top of bank along the south, which requires removing material along the upper bank of the Bow River. On September 10th, 2024, MPC approved the application and allowed the variance to the side yard setback. They did not approve the variance to the top of bank, as it was thought to provide a sound barrier for the landowners to the south across the Bow River. The applicant did not commence operating the pit, and instead, as per land use bylaw section 4.10, they chose to reapply again after a minimum of 6 months had passed. So the reapplication was submitted on October 20th, 2025, which was approximately 13 months later. And I will go through some details of the application. So I will go to the phasing plan, which is on page 36. The aggregate deposit will be progressively worked from the southeast corner towards the northwest. Phase 1 encompasses approximately 20 hectares of land and is anticipated to take 1 to 5 years to mine. Phase 2 encompasses 32 hectares and will take 6 to 10 years to mine. The land use bylaw states that no redesignation shall be approved within 650 feet of an existing dwelling, and this is measured from the property line of the parcel where the residence is located. So page 40, we have just the resident setback map showing the 650 feet. No residences are located within this setback. The proposed hours of operation were, during the original application, were May to October, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturdays. Information included with this most recent application submitted in support in the noise impact assessment submitted in support indicated the hours have been amended, proposing a 2 to 3 week period per season where pit operations would occur 24 hours per day. Most of the studies submitted with the 2023 application remain current and amendments were not required. The TEIA was reviewed to ensure there were no updates required due to road upgrades or new development in the area. The traffic impact assessment was also found to be current as per the original review and no updates. As with the previous application, some variances have been requested, and I will go to the map on page 33. I'll zoom in a little bit. So the 2 variances are along the east property boundary. There is supposed to be a setback of 10.05 meters, and they would like to be right adjacent to the property line, which the adjacent landowner has agreed to. They also would like to excavate the crest of the slope along the southeast boundary. So the land use bylaw requires a variance of 30.48 meters from the top of bank, and this request is to remove the highest and steepest crest of the riverbank, allowing excavation to occur 15 meters beyond the top of bank along the southeast half of the crest. Gravel extraction proposed west of this crest will still conform to the 30.48 meter setback. A geotechnical report was submitted in support of the variance, which has been summarized in the technical review section of this report. I will allude to it later, provide some details. So multiple studies were submitted for the 2023 application, such as the geotechnical report, a baseline soil and terrain assessment, a conceptual stormwater management plan, a drainage study, an environmental site assessment, a hydrogeological assessment, traffic impact assessment, wildlife assessment, remediation work plan, a lighting plan, and a dust control plan. These were all reviewed by the county's third-party engineers and were found to be acceptable. In support of the current application, the applicants did submit a noise assessment to address concerns, which was also reviewed by the third-party engineers. I'll just give a few details about the noise study. So as part of the noise study, I'm just going to go to the phasing plan on page 41. So initially, the long-term noise monitoring was conducted at a single receptor location within the study area to establish a baseline noise climate. So you can see that circled in red on this map. Noise levels from the sources are commonly described in decibels, abbreviated to dBA. Since the proposal included periods where pit operations will occur 24 hours per day, monitoring was conducted for a 24-hour period. The monitoring indicated that over a 24-hour period, the noise climate at the noise monitoring location was relatively consistent, and the data suggested that the existing noise climate is primarily influenced by existing aggregate facilities in the area not associated with this project. So following the baseline monitoring, a computer-generated noise model was developed, incorporating the project's phases and stages to assess the impact on the surrounding area. Since the county noise bylaw does not have a specific criterion as it relates to noise control for aggregate facilities, therefore the criteria recommended by the county's third-party engineers was the Alberta Transportation guidelines. And that criterion sets a threshold of 65 decibels over 24 hours. So noise from pit operations. If we go to the map on page 36, there we see the phasing. So pit operations include stripping, excavating, and crushing, and there's a slight variation in the noise levels for the various residents during the general pit operations with regards to phase 1 and phase 2. So 29.9 for the phase 1 to 40.9 for phase 2. The highest anticipated levels, sorry, that's in reverse, and the highest anticipated levels are during phase 1. And this was anticipated due to the proximity of the activities to adjacent residences. So the noise study mapping, if we go to page 43, so you can see that the closest residences, they're anticipating this R2 location would be the one that would have the greatest noise impact from the operations during phase 1. The most significant noise contributor will be from the crushers at the R2 receptor. It should be noted that this scenario assumes that all the equipment is operating simultaneously and thus provides conservative estimates. Since all residential receptor over the 24-hour period within the study area are projected to be below 65 decibels, noise mitigation would not be required. Noise from hauling operations are on the next page, page 44. There will be slight variations, again, between the noise levels for various residents, with the sound levels ranging from 24 to 34 decibels at the R2, again, location. It's anticipated that the most significant noise contributor would be from the loaders. In addition to providing the noise modeling results, potential noise impact strategies were provided to reduce the impact. Strategies included, but are not limited to, replacing loud, large pieces of equipment with smaller, quieter pieces, reduce the noise from the loudest sources with the use of larger mufflers or noise attenuation enclosures, and reduce the number of pieces of equipment operating at any given time where possible. And this can be particularly effective for times which residents might be more sensitive to noise, such as mornings or weekends. In situations where the majority of the equipment is stationary, for example, crushers, screeners, or generators, some measures could be stockpiles, strategically placing stockpiles or earth berms around the project. This has the most minimal impact on the typical operation of the pit, and its acoustical performance is very good. Noise barriers. In terms of meeting the minimum noise reduction requirements, barrier construction can be solid screen wood fences or masonry noise walls. Directionality. Consider the directionality of stationary equipment. Where possible, it should be positioned away from the most impacted receptors. So these strategies have been added as development permit conditions. Just some comments on the geotechnical review that was completed. If we go back to page 34. So here we can see the excavation line is the kind of orange line. That's where they're proposing the excavation line is. The top of bank is the kind of aqua colored line. So you can see that they're planning to go 15 meters beyond that top of bank, still within their own property, which is the blue line. So the geotechnical review, the scope was to identify the top of bank along the south parcel boundary and to confirm there would be no adverse effects to the riverbank. So the application was amended during review with the final iteration proposing that only the highest and steepest sections of the crest would be removed. Originally, they were going to go the entire width of the parcel pretty much, but now they've just changed it. So it's only on the east side. So the western half of the crest will not be disturbed and will remain at the 30.48 meter setback. The proposal was not to define the current stability of the crest, but rather to improve it slightly by removing load. Additionally, the removal of the raised area would better align the entire crest with the surrounding properties. The proposed reclamation plan leaves gently sloping material flow, promoting flow northwards from the crest to reduce erosion-based effects. Berms will be constructed, which are offset at least 2 meters to the north of the current crest, before and after mining has occurred until reclamation. And these are standard practices when working over slopes. Details of the review are on pages 54 to 63 if you would like to read them from the engineering review. So we circulated the application to Alberta Transportation, and they said it does fall within the permit area of a provincial highway. However, it will not cause any concern, so they issued an exemption from the permit requirements. We did not receive a response from AEPA and Vulcan County. We circulated, we didn't receive a response. Internally, we circulated to the, we got a response from our operations department who mentioned the access to the parcel, that it should be, it's currently through the neighboring parcel and a new approach will need to be constructed. Dust control will need to be applied along the haul route, an access and work agreement, a road use agreement, and no private signage is to be installed. And these are all included in the conditions. And I'll just show you the haul route, which is on page 37. So the haul route leaves the pit area on the east here, and in the green You can see that it follows and goes north. 2 responses were submitted from adjacent landowners that we circulated within 1 mile. The complete letters are attached to the report on pages 49 to 53. There is also, the applicant did submit, as you all know, you received an email where the applicant replied to some of these concerns as well. And I do have that document. I think it's in front of you. I can bring it up on the screen as well, if you would like me to.
Sure.
I think it's small text, so
It'd be hard to see.
yeah.
Hard to see here.
So 2 columns there were comments that are already in the report, the first 2 columns, and the applicant was just responding as well. So
Looks like everybody's looking at it, so we'll take a few minutes if there's anything. On
okay,
the, just on the top of this, though, it said DP 2025-187.
yeah,
Just,
that's
Point that out.
incorrect.
so it should be 183.
Yeah, it should be 183.
Everybody good? Go ahead.
Good, okay. Staff's recommendation is on pages 12 to 14. Staff are recommending that MPC approve this application with conditions. The alignment of this application with the MDP, the IDP, and the LUB is found in the policy analysis section of this report. As there is a concern with environmental impacts, mitigation measures have been included within the technical studies to address the concerns. And these items generally confirm that the development can proceed without negative impact to the Bow River, and specific strategies shall be implemented to address potential noise impacts. The noise bylaw states that when a business, commercial, or agricultural activity otherwise lawfully permitted at a location within Wheatland County necessarily involves the creation of noise identified by the bylaw, the person shall take all reasonable steps to ensure that the noise is minimized as much as practicable in all circumstances. The applicant has submitted a noise impact assessment, which includes noise mitigation measures to minimize the potential impacts. Development permit conditions have been added that require noise mitigation measures. So the I have provided some amended conditions just to provide the 2 options for the hours of operation. So the initial hours of operation were 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays. And now the applicant has added this 1 period of 2 to 3 weeks per season, May to October. That's 24 hours per day. So I will leave that to MPC to make a determination on that. And condition 14, I'll just point out that includes the specific noise mitigation strategies have been added as conditions. And MPC has the standard 3 options to consider. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
So, just maybe as much a concern as a question, like who monitors the 2 to 3 week window for the 24-hour operation? And like 2 to 3 weeks seems a little bit tenuous, maybe like, you know, maybe we should say not greater than 21 days, or I don't know. But like, we're going to have to rely on the landowner to complain to us, right? You know, if it had us, and then it's his word against pit operators, right? It just seems a little gray area there that could get us in the soup or be unfair to one of the two parties.
Would you recommend that the 2 to 3 weeks be a specific day, like 21 days, 14 days?
I guess that one question was who has oversight over it? Do we monitor that or are we just basing it on I understand why they're probably doing it, probably when they're crushing, because those operations run 24/7 because they're contracted out, right? So, but
So,
Yeah.
excuse
I
me,
do
can I?
think it's related to the crushing.
so
We could add to the condition that they provide us with the date when they start.
Could I
Councillor
say
Big,
something
I mean, sorry,
about that?
Commissioner Big. Go ahead.
Yes, so I did go to the site. I'm okay with the variance on the setback. I was the one that was quite worried about it before. I was worried about, like demolishing of trees and, wildlife, stuff like that. The variances, I'm fine with that. But this is new with this 24-hour and I don't think it's necessary. It can work from an 8 AM to an 8 PM. You know, at night, I think it needs to be quiet. We're putting, there's a lot of pressure in that, river valley on residents and we don't need to add more to it with the 24-hour. They can work around, they can contract longer, whatever, but, they can work around an 8 AM to 8 PM, week, for 2 to 3 weeks. That's my opinion.
And I just want to clarify that the original hours were 7 AM to 5 PM. And then for me to make a compromise between the 24 hours, I put 8 AM to 8 PM. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that.
Okay. Commissioner Clayton.
Yeah, the question I had was exactly what Donna was going after. Why operate at night when they could extend it for another 3 weeks during the day? To me, that doesn't make sense to disturb people's sleep just because of a 24-hour run. I agree with Donna.
Question, is there any other operations in that area that run 24 hours? Previous historical?
There are previous historical pits that the development permits are very historical and don't have a lot of detail. And I know we have received complaints from Speargrass residents about them operating 24 hours.
Okay, fair enough.
Excuse me, yes, and so a lot of them are, some of them are across the river. We don't have that as much jurisdiction on them. And a lot of the gravel pit development permits that came through were way before us. And we maybe were not as due diligent on protecting certain things in the permits, but I think now is the time to do it. And I think for 2 to go to 3 weeks at 8, that's a good compromise, 8 AM to 8 PM. And it's, they'll just have to work around that.
Okay.
So I got one more question. And it doesn't seem, it appears to me like the noise monitor was brought in for a period of time and then taken away. Is there a way we could leave that noise monitor there?
The noise, I think we could probably put a condition that they bring it back periodically. I don't know about leaving it there continually. It's a study, which is a particular period in time.
So
And it was used to make a baseline, but I mean, you could do a monitoring study periodically.
So yeah, they look and do estimates and modeling, which we saw what it could be. That's, I mean, there's a lot of conditions on this. It's a serious, like, it's probably the most conditions I've seen on development permit in a while. Go ahead, Commissioner Clayton.
What they could do for a couple of years is do the monitoring of noise during the crushing period so that they know if that's the issue, they'll have an answer as to how that noise level affects the community.
Commission's wishes. We have several discussions here, but let's try to get something laid out so we can make some decisions. Anyone want to?
I can make the motion. If you'd like.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd like to move that MPC approve DP 2025-183 for natural resource extraction with 2 variant subjects to the following conditions. The conditions from 1 to 14, A, B, and C, with the correction of 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. for one period of 2 to 3 weeks for the season of May to October, and take out the 24-hour per day clause.
Just Commissioner Bigger, did you intentionally say 9 to 9? Because on paper here is 8 to 8.
Oh, sorry. No, 8 to 8. Sorry.
Okay. So we're looking at conditional 11. Sorry, are you done with your motion?
Yes.
Okay. So basically just that take out the or part.
Right.
That's the motion before us. Discussion?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Commissioner Clayton.
The question I have is the time period for crushing was 2 weeks on a 24-hour basis. If we limit them to a 12-hour crushing for the same period of time, can they get the crushing done during that period, or do you have to extend the daytime operating time period to allow the company to do what they were planning on doing on a 24 basis?
Do we know that information?
If there's a specific amount that they're crushing and you're shortening the days, then I would suspect it will take longer.
Our overall noise bylaw for anywhere else is like till 10 p.m., correct? 9 p.m. I'm just thinking if someone's constructing a house in Speargrass or.
Yeah, the noise by, sorry, I didn't mean to
No, that's
interrupt.
okay.
The noise bylaw says for construction, but it doesn't, it says if there's an improved development permit, then it has to be in accordance with whatever the development permit says.
So not hearing any further discussion.
Just
Go
one comment. Some of the complaints of the adjacent landowners has to do with hauling and road. We will commit to doing the things that we've said in the letter about advocating to Alberta Transportation to get, don't use retarder brakes and all the things that we say in here. We will commit to doing those things.
Yeah, the operations department said they did commit to addressing some of those issues. I don't know if some of them may be a council, something that council has to address. I think the operations department will bring it to council if need be.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to bring a couple of those things back to council, actually.
Okay. Any further discussion other than the motion on the floor? Any more clarity needed? Okay. So we're voting on. So we, up on the top here behind us, we were just striking that one thing. The other conditions stay the same. Go ahead.
Through the chair to the commission, there is someone online that's raising their hand to speak, and they may not have heard the portion that they have to grant permission to speak. So
So is this
whether-
applicant or?
we're not sure. We just think it's a resident, but maybe it's a chance to reiterate about participation and like I said, to
Sure.
accept
So on an MPC meeting, if someone wants to speak from the public, we have to vote on that. So we have a hand raised online. So we have a motion on the floor. We have to finish that motion first, do we not?
That's correct. You have to deal with your motion that's on the floor and
Unfortunately,
so it may be too late to
yeah.
have someone come in and
How long have they had their hand raised? Since before our motion? I know, it's,
So we have circulated, we have got comments from the applicant, we have comments from the circulation from adjacent landowners. We're not trying to short circuit things, but our process is when there's a motion on the floor, we have to complete that motion by the sounds of it. And unfortunately with the technology, doesn't always work as good as we need it to. So I will proceed with calling the question that's before us, which includes everything as discussed. So I'm calling the question and I will go around the room. Go ahead.
in favor.
In favor.
In favor?
I'm in favor.
In favor?
In favor.
In favor. And that's carried. We'll move on to DP 2025-187.
This application is, the second application is DP 2025-187. It is for a stockpile. It begins on page 64 of the agenda package. The location plan is on page 77. It's located approximately 9.6 kilometers northwest of Ardenode, 0.8 kilometers east of the boundary of Rocky View County, immediately southwest of the intersection of Range Road 255 and Township Road 262. We have a site plan and aerial photos from pages 78 to 81. I will just give a brief history. So in 2013, in consultation with Alberta Environment and Protected Areas, the City of Calgary initiated the project using dewatered biosolids to improve the quality of soils considered marginal for agriculture, providing a nutrient source for a willow tree farm. The project is managed by Silvis. As the project fits within the land use bylaw as an agricultural operation, no development permit was required when the project commenced. In 2023, a development permit application was submitted for a stockpile, which is a discretionary use in the Agricultural General District. Alberta Environment and Protected Areas authorized site is 1 hectare and it allows for up to 4,000 bulk tons of biosolids. Operations at the site include hauling dewatered biosolids from Calgary lagoons to the project location and stockpiling the material as required, temporarily storing biosolid deliveries during each year's operational season when weather conditions do not permit field access to temporary field stockpiles. Activities typically occur between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., excluding Sundays and statutory holidays. All material is applied to agricultural land each year. Biosolids do not remain in the stockpile over winter. Technical studies, which included an odor assessment, a conceptual traffic impact assessment, and a drainage assessment, were submitted for the 2023 application, and they've been outlined in the technical review section of this report. In 2023, Municipal Planning Commission approved the application for the stockpile for a 2-year term expiring on March 12, 2026. The usage window specified on the permit was May 1st to July 31st each calendar year. This current application has been made to renew the stockpile permit. The primary purpose of the stockpile is an all-weather stockpile that is accessible during wet conditions and therefore generally has much less biosolids stored than full capacity. In 2023, there were 700 bulk tons stored there on the stockpile. And in 2025, there were no biosolids stored there. So if we go to pages 83 to 85, you can see photos from July 2025. And there was nothing stored on site at that time. The nature and scope of the all-weather stockpile activities is unchanged from the previous permit, so studies did not require updates. There are no changes to haul routes, volumes going to the stockpile, or characteristics of the biosolids. The following specific changes have been requested for this permit: that the permit be issued for a 3-year term to align with the associated AEPA approval, which expires in 2028. Excuse me. And the previous permit stipulated that the stockpile may only be used from May to July 31st each year, and the applicants are requesting that these dates be extended from May to, from May to July each year, and the change is that it would be from May to October 31st. So the rationale for this is that, excuse me one sec. Is that crop harvest is typically after September, October. Therefore, land applications cannot occur until after that time, which means that biosolids need first to be transferred to an in-field stockpile until they can then be applied to the land. Extending the stockpile use to October rather than July would allow the biosolids to remain in the stockpile until the time when they can be spread on land, rather than being disturbed during the transfer, and again during the application. This will minimize the number of times the biosolids are handled and thereby reducing the potential for odor. So one additional study was provided by the applicant in support of this application, and it was a hydrogeology background review, which assessed the potential risk to groundwater users on account of the dewatered biosolids. The scope of the work included a background review of hydrogeological, geological, and soil data and associated interpretation and reporting. The background reviews were for biosolid application sites at Section 7, 2625, Section 18, and Section west of, and the west section of 27, 2625. The purpose of the background review was to assess whether further sampling was recommended. So Waterline Resources was contracted, who conducted the independent assessment and recommended that no further groundwater monitoring be conducted. The risk of biosolids applications to active water wells at the sites is generally considered to be low. On-site groundwater monitoring at these sites is not recommended based on available background information. So we'll bring up this map here just to get a view of the area. So nitrate at one water well approximately 60 meters east of Section 7 exceeded the Health-Related Canada drinking water quality guideline during the sampling events from 2013 to 2016, and including prior to when biosolids were applied. So there appears to be a source of nitrate at this water well that is not related to the biosolids application. Nitrate is a non-point source that can originate from multiple sources, and the biosolids at the site are not considered to be the primary source of nitrate at this water well. Silvas had previously notified the landowner regarding these results, which indicate the water supply was not suitable for potable water use. Groundwater sampling concluded in 2017 after no impacts to groundwater were identified. Historically, other neighboring wells were tested as part of a voluntary well monitoring program, which was conducted between 2013 and 2017. Letters with monitoring results were delivered to participating residences after each sampling event. No impacts attributable to the biosolids were identified at any of the residents. There is an AEPA approval, and the expiry date, as I mentioned, it was extended from December 31st, 2023 to December 31st, 2028. and it allows for the hauling of the dewatered biosolids from Calgary lagoons and stockpiling the material. Subsequently, spreading of biosolids on marginal lands does not require a development permit. However, it is also managed through the AEPA, including the application to the various locations within the willow plantation, which exceeds 300 hectares in size, application to other colony lands identified annually, and application to off-site lands identified by the landowners through an application process. The applicant provided a complaint and response call log, which is included in page 90 and 91. So because it is a City of Calgary project, the City of Calgary has a process in place using the 311 call system, allowing for the raising, logging, and follow-up of concerns. And they will address the responses to questions and concerns that are raised regardless of the origin and the mechanism of communication. Concerns from outside of Calgary may be reported by calling. There's a phone number to call, and this phone number has been referenced in the updated project signage and added to neighbor notification letters. We circulated to Rocky View County, and they request that Rocky View road operations be contacted to see if any road use agreements are required. The county operations provided comments that an access and work agreement and road use agreement must be entered into annually, and that dust control measures be applied prior to the commencement of any activities. These have been added as development permit conditions. The planning department outlined how the application aligns with the relevant planning documents. There was one response with concerns, which is found on pages 87 to 89, and the applicant responses are summarized within the report. So in conclusion, I'll just go to page 69. Where's the proposal aligns with the IDP, the MDP, and the LUB as it promotes environmental stewardship, encourages agricultural diversification, innovation, and the use of best practices. A stockpile is a discretionary use within the AG district. Staff note that if the stockpile itself were not approved, it would not preclude Silvas from applying biosolids to marginal agricultural lands or on the Willow Tree project lands within Wheatland County, as they align with the definition of an agricultural operation. So I brought that up on the screen. It's found on page 69. The spreading of the biosolids may produce odors which may still occur without stockpiling of the biosolid material in the all-weather stockpile. Issuance of the development permit allows staff to place conditions regarding road use and dust control. With the Alberta Environment and Protected Areas overseeing the environmental components and considering the review of the odor assessment, the TIA, the drainage study, and the hydrogeological background review, adequate assurance has been provided that the stockpile site is being operated and maintained in a suitable manner and in alignment with best practices. So staff's recommendation is on pages 67 and 68. That Municipal Planning Commission approved the application. So I have provided, again, some alternate conditions that include the amended dates. So condition number 1, where it previously said it was from May to July 31st, I've added to October 31st for your consideration. And also in the report, I have not included a term at all. So I didn't say that it was a temporary permit, but in the amended conditions, this has been issued for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2028. And then I've just added the note from Rocky View County that the applicant contact Rocky View Road Operations to confirm if a road use agreement is required. And MPC has the standard 3 options. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, so in the summary of the complaint thing, in the document, it says, you know, follow up with the caller to provide information on the hauling schedule, color of the city Calgary trucks, and the calcium application schedule, which is on us, the county, right? The other comment I have is that there could be some odor with the application of the stuff that could be confused with the storage of it. There's all, and those are in the summer when we're trying to enjoy our yards, no different than extending the, and a third problem is you're extending it in the summer and having that much more traffic and dust on the road when quite often farming operations are heavy in the spring and more in the fall. So the summer they got to themselves. And I'm thinking of, you know, the large ILO in the area that, you know, definitely uses the roads, and that's fine. But they tend to do it spring and fall, not so much right in the middle of summer. So I guess the question, and then back at it, monitoring. So it's a Calgary problem that, you know, is kind of, and so I'm having trouble supporting this, but if you could answer my questions, that might help. Thanks.
So your specific, can you give them to me again, one at a time, please?
Well, the very first one is the confusion between odors in the summer that might be from application versus the versus storage.
Yeah, you're correct on that. Some of the odors might be coming from when they apply the product to the various willow tree plantation lands or marginal lands.
True, but if they're not hauling and stockpiling, then we know for sure where the odor is coming from. Another question I have is, so we did that water study and we did that in 2013 to 2017, which now makes that a pretty old study. And then the nitrate truly came from somewhere else because it wasn't there. But now the concern, if I was in the neighborhood drinking the water, is that a free pass? Because now you can't monitor. If you had a nitrate problem now and you weren't hauling more and stockpiling more there, you could go to other sites potentially in the area and make your water safe. Now you add this thing and you might, you know.
And your question is?
Well, it might be as much an observation.
Right.
There's an old safety study also that you can put biosolids on the land, but lo and behold, I just see on the news the other day, and it's an NBC study done in Montana where putting human biosolids, and I don't have that with me, but where you're putting human biosolids on the land is actually very detrimental. And that's just, I think that was in 2026. So that might be a newer study. And I worry more about summer with wind and people outside and, right?
Okay. So you're suggesting that a new study be conducted? Is that what you're?
Yeah, maybe. Like I can't support this at the moment because I think it, you know, it ends up the juice might not be worth the squeeze. Sorry, that's colloquialism, but I don't know if we're truly hurting our farmers by denying for a couple of months. Like, you know, we have gravel pit guys adjust their schedules, and so it just seems to me apples to apples. Thank you.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
We've been applying CalGrow for quite a number of years. And you're right. It has some effect on the land, but a lot less than when it started. That's some of the things that they've been able to actually do over the years. But taking care of not applicating during the summer is a good idea. Leave it stockpiled and apply it after the crop comes off in the fall is usually how it's done. Even as Calgrow, you don't do it, or at least you try not to do it, to take crop out of production for a year to satisfy getting that material on your land. So as to me, I can't see a difficulty in doing it as long as the stockpile stays in position until after the harvest is done in the fall.
Just a response, Commissioner Clayton, the big difference truly is Calgrow is put down 18 inches, right? How far? Some distance underground. And then is there not a condition with Calgrow that you can't use that in direct food production for the, no, there isn't? Okay, thank you.
I have some questions that might provide some clarity. So I understand this has been in my division for a number of years. So it has an EPA approval. It started as a pilot project. They're the ultimate approving body. It's an agricultural operation. We're basically just voting on the stockpile. That's it. It's going to happen until the 3-year term is up. And I would really hope the EPA will circulate to us and adjacent landowners to find out if we want to keep going. They issued a extension and we didn't even know that, just so you know, or at least I never was notified of it. So the 3-year term, I understand that. My question is about field stockpiles. So that was in 2025, there was field stockpiles that were not on this site. And that's where the residents' concern was. So is this taking that away or will that still happen? So that was on a harvested field or an area, and they stockpiled it on that field without.
Yeah, so based on what the response is that's up on the screen there, it says, under the current permit, they need to remove any biosolids stored within the all-weather stockpile before the end of July. For most fields, we can't apply until after crop harvest, which is usually in September, October. So the biosolids need to be first transferred to an infield stockpile until we can apply them. So they do have to disturb it twice, put it in an infield stockpile. And this means that those biosolids are disturbed during the transfer and again during applications. But if the stockpile use is extended until the end of October, we only need to disturb the biosolids once immediately before they are applied. So I think what they are saying is, yeah, they don't have to then also stockpile it at the field site.
So if we give it till October, they can wait till the crop is off, call directly from the site to land application. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. So I've been asked from residents, so I'm gonna ask this in public. The costs of the grading, the dust control and all that stuff, is that borne by the county taxpayers or does that bill do we recoup our costs?
Yeah, that's borne by the applicant.
By the applicant, okay. Anybody else have any other questions?
Now,
Comments?
can I pause for a brief break to double check with the applicant that there won't be stockpiles?
Absolutely.
at
Actually,
the
it's a good
field?
time to take a break for us. It's 10 o'clock.
Because
so-
I don't want to mislead MPC.
Yep.
Yeah,
We'll take a 10-minute break.
that's how I understand.
Yeah, let's take a 10-minute break. Everybody get a chance to do a bio. Resuming MPC January 14, 2026, and we're discussing DP 2025-187.
Thank you for allowing that break. So the applicant has said that the infield stockpiles, other than the all-weather stockpile, will still be used temporarily using this extended date. But any biosolids delivered to the all-weather stockpile will only be disturbed once. Infield stockpile locations vary from year to year, their locations of them, and the proponent works to minimize impacts on neighbors when locating these. So what they will do is they will move from the all-weather stockpile to the site later in the year and then spread it very quickly. It will be temporary stockpiled, but not like for a month or anything like that. So yeah, that's what the applicant's response is.
Okay. Any other questions? Wishes of MPC? I'll move, the Municipal Planning Commission approve DP 2025-187 with the modified conditions as presented. Make sense? And the reasons with the modification of the extended date, I understand that will mitigate the moving of this more often. So it will go to one site and hopefully go direct to land. We'll mitigate the concerns with the residents. I've sat with many residents in the area over the years. The applicant knows. I've sat with them. I've sat with them on their porches as well. And I understand this. We are just looking at a stockpile right now for MPC. The chance to discuss the AEP and how it all works will come up in 3 years' time. I'm really hoping the county is involved in that, or through the Ag Service Board or whatever, so we can have our input then. But for now, this is what I'm comfortable with. Motion on the floor. Any discussion? I'll call the question.
In favor.
Not in favor?
Commissioner Bigger?
In favor.
I'm in favor.
In favor?
Commissioner Kester? Are you there, Commissioner Kester? Commissioner Lowerson?
I'm in favor.
That's the majority. That's carried. We'll move on to DP 2025-205.
This application begins on page 92 of the agenda package. It is for animal services, specifically for a community dog park. It is located, we're going to go to page 97, the location plan. Located approximately 200 meters north of Lakes and Muirfield, 150 meters south of Township Road 252 on the east side of Range Road 264. So the site plan and aerial photos, pages 98 to 101. So here we have the site plan, the dog park in yellow. The application is for an off-leash community dog park to be located approximately on 1 acre of land leased from the WID adjacent to the Lyalta Community Center. The dog park will be fully enclosed with durable chain link fencing with 2 separate entrances accessed via the community club lands. Each gate will be equipped with its own dog waste station that will be emptied on a weekly basis to ensure cleanliness, and the facility will be open during daylight hours only, which will fluctuate between winter and summer. It's anticipated about 5 to 10 visitors will utilize the site daily, and parking will be in the Lyalta Community Center parking lot. Pages 102 to 104. We have some photos. The Lyalta Community Club will oversee all maintenance, including grass cutting and weed management. Rules and regulations are clearly posted on signage at each entrance. The lands where the dog park is situated are in between the WID canal and the community center property. And the community center lands have a variety of recreational activities with adequate shared parking. No new accesses from Range Road 264 are required, as the 2 dog parks gated accesses are from the community center lands. And the Lyalta Community Center intends to add additional amenities to their site, at which time the cumulative traffic impacts will be reviewed, including those of the dog park. There's no water or wastewater services or lighting required, as it is only for daylight hours. We circulated to adjacent landowners within 1 mile. We didn't receive any responses. We circulated to the entire hamlet of Lyalta. Rockview County had no response at the time of the report. The WID had no concerns. Fire Services said they would recommend that the municipal address of the dog park is posted at the entrance, but they did not realize at the time that they are sharing a driveway with the community center, so adding a B sign would just be confusing. So we're not going to go that route. The community services coordinator said a dog park is a desired community amenity for urban development, and the park provides an off-leash space for residents to take their dogs. The alignment with this application with the municipal development plan, the IDP, and the land use bylaw has been provided in the policy analysis section of this report. It aligns with Parks and Recreation objectives. Animal services is a discretionary use within the Ag District, and the definition for animal services specifically mentions private dog parks. So staff are recommending approval of this application with the conditions as noted, with the 15 conditions, 17. And that concludes my presentation. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? MPC's wishes?
I move that the Municipal Planning Commission approve DP 2025-205 for an off-leash community dog park subject to the following conditions as outlined.
Thank you. Motion on the floor. Any discussion? I just want to say, I believe it's the first dog park for Wheatland County.
There is a private one at a campground.
Yeah.
And other than that, yeah.
Because just a little.
Speargrass.
Speargrass House.
Speargrass has,
That's correct.
So this was a community-driven project. They went out and negotiated with WID and the land and developed and fundraised and did everything. And I see it being utilized, and we had to get some different land use issues to make it happen because the ag land and all that kind of stuff was quite a hoops to jump through. So I'm happy to support this, and thankful that the community gets what they need. They developed the idea and made it happen. So it's nice to hear. Any other discussion? I'll call the question.
I'm in favor.
In favor.
in favor?
I'm in favor.
In favor?
In favor?
In favor.
And that's carried. We'll move on to item 2.4, 2025, as DP 2025-209.
Thank you. Beginning on page 106 of the agenda package, it is, oops, just wait a moment. This application is for a second residence, an accessory dwelling. It is located approximately 15 kilometers southeast of Dallam, 800 meters southeast of Township Road 262 on the east side of Range Road 183. The location plan is found on page 110. We have the site plan and some aerial photos beginning on page 111. The application is for a second residence to be located as an accessory dwelling. It is previously used as an industrial accommodation, but it will be renovated to include a kitchen and kitchen and sleeping quarters. We can see that it will be located with about 490 feet from the road allowance, meets the requirements for the setbacks to the water body, as we can see on page 112. Page 114, we can see the plan for the renovation and what it is a stick-built accommodation. However, it was an industrial, and now they will be adding front and rear decks and a bedroom accommodation in there. So the application meets all the requirements of the land use bylaw. No variances have been requested. And staff are recommending approval, found on page 107, our staff's recommendation with the conditions noted, including the $5,000 deposit for a used dwelling. And we did circulate to surrounding landowners. We received no responses. We didn't receive any comments from the interior circulation. So that concludes my presentation. MPC has the standard 3 options to consider.
Thank you. MPC's wishes? Commissioner Lowerson.
I'll move that MPC approve DP 2025-209 for a dwelling accessory subject to the conditions 1 through 7.
Thank you. Motion on the floor. Any discussion? I'll call the question.
In favor?
In favor.
In favor?
I'm in favor.
In favor?
Commissioner Custer? Mr. Lowerson.
In favor.
That's carried. We'll move on to item number 2.5, DP 2025-211.
Yes, this application is for 3 accessory buildings existing with 1 requiring a variance and 1 addition. It is, the location plan is page 123. And it is located approximately 4.2 kilometers south of the hamlet of La Alta, 1.6 kilometers north of Township Road 244 on the east side of Range Road 264. On pages 124 to 126, we have the site plan. So you can see circled in red, there are 2 existing sheds. There is an addition constructed that connected the detached garage to the house. And there is another detached garage along the north property line. So a certificate of compliance was requested and the RPR identified 4 non-compliant structures. The addition is considered part of the principal building, which is the dwelling, and a second existing detached garage was issued a development permit, but the building was not constructed in the precise location depicted on the approved site plan, and it does not meet the required setbacks. So it was proposed to be 4.27 meters from the north property line, but it was constructed 2.53 meters. So the landowner has requested a variance to the side yard setback in this case. And the parcel adjacent to the property, which is the subject of the variance, is a 114-acre ag parcel with no structures in the immediate area. There are some photos on pages 127 to 130, so showing the various buildings and addition. So in order to receive a compliance status, a development permit is required for the 2 sheds and the addition, and a development permit with a variance for the detached garage. Alternatively, the garage may be removed. A permit may be issued that requiring that it be moved, or approval with a variance to the setbacks is required. We circulated to landowners within 1 mile. We didn't receive any responses. So staff's recommendation is on page 119. And we are recommending that the variance criteria has been met and that no concerns were raised from surrounding landowners or staff. So staff is of the opinion that the criteria has been met and recommended approval on that basis with the 4 conditions noted. Thank you.
Thank you. MPC's wishes. Go ahead.
I move that the Municipal Planning Commission approve DP 2025-211 for the addition and 3 accessory buildings with 1 requiring a variance subject to the following conditions as listed.
Thank you. Motion on the floor. Any discussion? Not seeing any. I will call the question.
In favor?
In favor.
In favor?
I'm in favor.
In favor?
Commissioner Kester? Commissioner Lowerson?
In favor.
That's carried. And I do believe we met the landowner last night. The one gentleman that came to the mic is the new owner of that property, just saying for everybody's information. We'll move on to subdivision applications, SD 2025-006.
We just have one final DP.
Oh, my pen.
That's
so
all right.
We'll go back to DP 20, item 2.6, DP 2025-20 or 212.
Thank you. Beginning on page 132 of the agenda package, this is for an existing accessory structure requiring a variance. The location plan is on page 137. It is located within the hamlet of Nightingale, 535 meters north of Highway 1, 60 meters west of Range Road 245. We have a site plan and aerial photos on pages 138 to 141. A certificate of compliance was requested and the RPR identified one building that did not meet the setbacks of the land use bylaw. A small shed was shown to be encroaching 0.26 meters over the northwest property line into an undeveloped laneway. Landowner has requested this variance to the 1.22 meter side yard setback. In support of the variance request, the landowner also requested that the county enter into an encroachment agreement allowing the shed to encroach onto the undeveloped laneway. Council approved the request for the encroachment agreement on December 16, 2025. Page 141, we'll look at the aerial photo. The parcel of land abutting the opposite side of the undeveloped laneway is an agricultural parcel with a large wetland area. There are no structures in the immediate vicinity. Pages 142 and 143 show photos of the building. Accessory structures that are less than 100 square feet are not subject to requiring a development permit if they meet the minimum setbacks. This one is less than 100 square feet, however, it does not meet the required setback. So in order to receive a compliance status, a development permit with a variance is required for the shed in addition to the encroachment agreement. Or the building may be moved or removed from the parcel. So we circulated to adjacent landowners. We did not receive any written responses. In reviewing the application, Alberta Transportation said that it is in the permit area of a provincial highway, but they have provided an exemption from a permit requirement. The County Operations Department said that an encroachment agreement would be acceptable. Another option would be to do a road closure on the adjacent laneway. So staff's recommendation is found on page 133. The LUB variance criteria was considered in the recommendation for this application, and that has been outlined in the policies, practices, and legislation section of the report. No concerns were raised from surrounding landowners or county staff, and council approved an encroachment agreement for the shed. Staff is of the opinion that the variance criteria has been met and have recommended approval on that basis. So the recommended is the approval with the 4 conditions noted. Now staff, I have also made a little tweak to the conditions that I would like to point out. And that is to condition 2B. The variance is conditional on the landowner entering into and complying with the terms of the encroachment agreement as approved by County Council. I've made this tweak because he has already signed the encroachment agreement, and it does state that if the land changes hands, he is to let the new owner know that this agreement is in place. It will be caveated on the title, but they have to come to us to let us know if they want to continue with the encroachment. And if the land changes hands, say the road was closed, the alley was closed in the future and went to a new owner, then he would have the authorization to end the encroachment if he chose.
Thank you. MPC's wishes.
I'll move that Municipal Planning Commission approve DP 2025-212 for an existing accessory building structure with a variance subject to the following conditions as listed.
Thank you. Discussion?
Just a curious question. I thought we dealt with this in December and I was kind of surprised to see it back on here. So what did I miss in December?
One was an encroachment agreement, which to the road, which was council, and this is the variance. Yeah, not a variance, but
Yeah, it is a variance because if they want to get their compliance certificate stamped as compliant, they need the variance too.
just food for
Thank you.
thought. Think about how many fingers have touched this file and hours have been done on an outhouse.
Yeah, or not even an
Like
outhouse.
it's
anymore.
astounding in circulation, but that's what we deal with sometimes.
Yes.
Any further discussion? And it's been a common theme the last couple of days, the outhouse.
Just to
Call it-
confirm, so when he says with conditions 1 through 4, he, like, we intend to put this
You
in? Is
intend to
that
put
the
these
intention of the,
as presented?
as, when he says as listed, do you understand that to be this?
I understand it to be this.
Okay.
Is that your intention?
Yes.
Yes, the
It's
intention
his
is,
motion.
oh, sorry, your motion.
You intended that one?
Yes.
Yes, okay, I just wanted to make sure when I'm.
My apologies.
Okay.
In December also.
Oh, your mic's off.
Sorry, that in December also that it couldn't be replaced. Once the shed was end of life, it was done. I don't see that there. But
That will be in the encroachment agreement. That's a clause in the encroachment agreement what the landowner has signed. So he has to comply with it as per this condition.
Any further discussion? I'll call the question.
In favor?
In favor.
In favor?
I'm in favor.
in favor?
Commissioner Kester? Commissioner Lowers?
In favor.
That's carried. We'll move on to subdivision applications. SD 2025-006. And a change of personnel. Welcome.
Can anyone hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now faintly.
Okay, every once in a while you can't hear me. I can always hear you guys, but
Okay.
it's on my
Well,
mute and.
We were
nobody
able to,
talks.
we were able to pass the motions. I gave you a couple chances and then we had the majority to pass them, so.
Yeah, I heard.
Okay,
Okay, I'll keep trying.
if you need to and something goes on, like that and you're not getting a response, if you could text administration or myself, like I have my phone here. If something comes up, just let me know or administration, we'll try to pause and make sure you get back on. Go ahead.
Good morning, MPC. Taylor Felt with administration here. I'll be presenting the next 3 subdivision applications on the agenda for the commission's consideration. Referring to page 152 of the agenda package, the lands subject to SD 2025-006 are located immediately east of the hamlet of Carsland, immediately east of Range Road 260 and Bartstow Street. The application proposes to adjust the boundaries between lots 1 and 2 by transferring a 11.41 acre portion from lot 2 to lot 1 and a 31.66 acre portion from lot 1 to lot 2. This will result in lot 1 being 25.99 acres and lot 2 being 96.25 acres in size. The intent of the realignment is to enhance the effectiveness of an irrigation pivot that's located on the lands immediately north of lot 2. Both lots will remain designated agricultural general district and continue to be used for agricultural purposes in the near future. The proposed lot 1 accesses Bartstow Street and the proposed lot 2 will have physical access to Range Road 260 to the west. Approach inspections are not required at this time. However, should future development be approved on either lot, new approaches or improvements to the existing approaches will be required as a condition of approval. As both lots are undeveloped, neither are serviced by private water or wastewater treatment at this time. The county's policies do require confirmation of water and wastewater servicing potential for the proposed Lot 1, and county pipe servicing is available within the Barstow Street right-of-way on the west side of Lot 1. The realignment of Lots 1 and 2 follows an existing county drainage channel that conveys stormwater away from the hamlet of Carsland. The drainage channel is currently protected by several overland drainage right-of-way plans and easement agreements. Administration has determined these plans and easements should be updated and consolidated as a condition of approval. And this would more accurately align with the channel's physical location on the lands today. An additional overland drainage plan and right-of-way easement are also required in the southwest portion of Lot 1 to support future county stormwater management projects. And I have this identified in blue on the tentative plan up on the screen here. Reserves are outstanding for the proposed Lot 1. However, administration is recommending that reserve dedication be deferred until such a time that the hamlet of Carsland expands further east or more intensive development is proposed on the lands. And in accordance with the MGA, reserves are not required for the proposed Lot 2 at this time, given its size. The proposal is compatible with the surrounding land uses and does not introduce land use conflicts or additional servicing demands. The boundary adjustment represents an orderly and practical adjustment to existing parcel boundaries and is consistent with the intent of the MDP to protect agricultural lands and support efficient agricultural operations. Landowners and other interested parties within a 1 mile radius were notified of the application. Administration didn't receive any comments from adjacent landowners, and those comments received by agencies and internal departments can be found starting on page 147 of the agenda package. Administration is making the recommendation that MPC approves SD 2025-006, subject to the 4 conditions found on pages 145 and 146, which I'll pull back up on the screen here. And that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. MPC's wishes?
I'd like to make the motion.
Go ahead.
I'd like to make a motion that Municipal Planning Commission approve subdivision application SD 2025-006, subject to the following conditions from 1 to 4.
Thank you. Motion on the floor. Any discussion? Just one question. Because the services are across the road, I know on some subdivision applications, it says in the future you'll have to connect to services. There used to be. Is that apply on this? Like our services?
We have had that caveat registered on titles in the past. We've left this option flexible. If it's a residential development or future commercial development, we would see what works best given the proposal. We're not requiring them to tie into municipal services at this time.
Okay, fair enough. No further discussion. I'll call the question.
I'm in favor.
In favor.
In favor?
I'm in favor.
In favor?
In favor.
In favor.
That's carried. Move on to item 3.2 SD 2025-018.
Taylor Felt from administration here again, presenting SD 2025-018 for MPC's consideration. Referring to page 163 of the application package, the lands are located 5.75 kilometers northeast of the hamlet of Carsland, 1.65 kilometers north of the intersection of Township Road 222 and Range Road 253, and immediately east of Range Road 253. The application proposes to transfer a 2.5 acre portion from Lot 2 to Lot 1, resulting in a 5.5 acre parcel and a 94.85 acre remainder. In terms of existing development and servicing, Lot 1 is developed with a dwelling, accessory structures, a private well and sewage treatment system, with road access available via an existing shared approach to Range Road 253 to the west. Lot 2, which is the portion being transferred to Lot 2A, being the portion to be transferred from Lot 2 to Lot 1, is undeveloped and used as pasture land. The remainder of Lot 2 contains a dwelling, farm buildings, and accessory structures, a private well and sewage treatment system, and is accessed via 2 existing gravel approaches to Range Road 253 to the west. Lot 2 will continue to be used for agricultural production in the foreseeable future. Reserves are outstanding for Lot 2A. Administration is recommending that cash in lieu of land be dedicated as a condition of approval. And in my report, it estimates the amount of reserves due. Reserves are not required for the remainder Lot 2, as this parcel is greater than 49 acres in size, and the MDP would support further subdivision and development of the lands in the future. The parcel generally aligns with the municipal development plan, specifically the agricultural objectives and policies found in Section 3. The proposal is not anticipated to adversely affect agricultural operations, the environment, or any of the adjacent landowners. Landowners and other interested parties within a 1-mile radius were notified of the application in advance of today's meeting. Administration did not receive any comments from adjacent landowners, and those provided by agencies and internal departments can be found starting on page 160 of the agenda package. And with that, administration is making the recommendation that MPC approves SD 2025-018, subject to the 4 conditions found on page 159. And that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. MPC's wishes?
I
I'd like
move,
to make the motion.
okay,
Oh, go ahead, Commissioner Bigger.
I'll move that the Municipal Planning Commission approve subdivision application SD 2025-018, subject to the following conditions from 1 to 4.
Thank you. Motion's on the floor. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing and hearing none, I'll call the question.
I'm in favor.
In favor.
In favor?
I'm in favor.
in favor,
In favor.
In favor.
That's carried. Move on to item 3.3, SD 2025-020.
Taylor Felt from administration here again, presenting SD 2025-020 for MPC's consideration. Referring to page 176 of the agenda package, the lands are located 8.75 kilometers southwest of the hamlet of Rosebud, about 900 meters southeast of the intersection of Range Road 223 and Highway 9, and immediately south of the municipal boundary of Kneehill County. The application proposes to transfer a 4.68 portion from Lot 2 to Lot 1 and a 3.4 acre portion from Lot 1 to Lot 2, resulting in a 10.75 acre parcel and a 149.19 acre remainder parcel. The intent of the proposal is to more closely align the parcel's boundaries with the existing farmstead developments and the agriculturally productive lands on Lot 2. In terms of development and servicing, Lot 1 is developed with a dwelling, several farm buildings, and accessory structures. Servicing is provided by means of a private water well and sewage treatment system. Lot 1 does not currently have direct access to a developed roadway. It's currently accessed by an undeveloped road allowance approximately 100 meters east of the intersection of Range Road 222A and Township Road 282. Adjusting the boundaries will provide Lot 1 with direct access to Kneehill County's transportation network and effectively remove access to Lot 2. Lot 2 is undeveloped and used for agricultural purposes. Lot 2 currently has access to Kneehill County's transportation network directly north at the intersection of Range Road 222A and Township Road 282. Adjusting the boundaries will remove direct access for Lot 2 and provide direct access to Lot 1. So just shifting them there. The proposal was evaluated against the Kneehill County and Wheatland County intermunicipal development plan, and then the agricultural objectives and policies found in Wheatland County's municipal development plan. The proposal generally satisfies the agricultural policies found in section 3.12 of the MDP, which identifies criteria for considering additional subdivisions or boundary adjustment applications. The reconfiguration of the lots better reflects the lands used for agricultural production on Lot 2, and then the farmstead developments that are contained within the proposed Lot 1. The adjustments will enhance the functional efficiency of both parcels while preserving the maximum amount of agricultural land within the quarter section as a whole. But I should mention that section 3.1.2.5D of the MDP requires that physical access be provided to a developed roadway for the proposed and remainder parcels. And as I noted earlier, adjusting these boundaries provides access to one and effectively removes it from the other, which is lot 2. As the shared municipal boundary forms the northern boundaries of lots 1 and 2, access and approach requirements fall under Kneehill County's jurisdiction. And Kneehill County was notified of the proposal and informed Wheatland County Administration that the approaches were inspected and there were no additional concerns at this time. So administration is recommending that an access easement agreement be registered on each title for the benefit of lot 2, that's the remainder ag land, to ensure that access to a developed roadway is secured in perpetuity. 2 considerations for the landowners are highlighted on the tentative plan that I have up on the screen here. So there's an orange recommendation along the northern boundary, which borders the undeveloped road allowance, and then one that falls from north to south along the western portion of what will be lot 1. And really, should any future development be proposed on lot 2 in down the road, extending Township Road 282 further east may be a requirement by Kneehill County at cost to that developer. So landowners and other interested parties within a 1-mile radius were notified in advance of today's meeting. Administration did not receive any comments from adjacent landowners, and those comments received by Kneehill County, other agencies and internal departments can be found starting on page 171 of the agenda package. And with that, administration is making the recommendation to MPC that it approves application SD 2025-020, subject to the 4 conditions found on page 170. And that concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? MPC's wishes? Commissioner Kester?
I'm having trouble here. Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear you now loud and clear.
Okay. Okay.
Did you wish to make a motion? This is in your division.
I'll move that we approve it.
Okay, as presented. Any questions?
Presented.
Okay, motion on the floor. Any discussion? I'll call the question.
I'm in favor.
In favor.
In favor?
I'm in favor.
In favor?
In favor.
In favor.
And that's carried. I do believe we've completed our matters for MPC, and I will adjourn the meeting.